Hi friends. And welcome back to the Wolf Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a C-drama called Love Like the Galaxy, released in the year 2022, got completed and is one of the biggest hits in C-drama for 2022. This drama revolves around the life of our main lead Ling Bai, who is also called as Ji Sheng, and our female lead Cheng Xiaoshang, who also gets addressed as Niao Niao. Ling Bai is the young general and also adopted son of the emperor. The emperor has two wives, noble consort and the empress. The three of them dotes on Ling Bai as emperor was best friend with his uncle Wu Shang, who died in war protecting the kingdom. So now let's get back to the story. The drama opens with an exhausted lone rider coming to the city gate of Ruyang. He then shouted that victory for thousands had been achieved and that war is over. The next scene was the returning soldiers under the command of the young general Ling Buyi. His return was widely anticipated, with the emperor's eunuch leading to the welcome party. Ling Bai then told attendant Cao to extend his apologies to the emperor, who was going to give him a banquet. Ling Bai received intel about where a suspect could be found. He and his soldiers then rode off. The scene then shifts to a very rustic village, and we can see a couple of servants knocking on a gate of the courtyard. Inside the house is our female lead, a starving Cheng Xiaoshang, gorging herself on the food parcel that was snatched by her maid. Xiaoshang had been banished to the village with barely anything to eat. It is then revealed that when Xiaoshang was just a newborn baby, her parents left her behind to her grandmother and aunt to complete their duty of protecting the nation. But her grandmother and second aunt didn't like her mother and takes it out on Cheng Xiaoshang by banishing her to the village with barely anything to eat. She learns from a very small age that she is having no one but herself to rely on, and hence she becomes extra diligent in her nature. She didn't take any crap from the servants of her grandmother and decides to go back home on her own terms. All this commotion was witnessed by our male lead Ling Bai from the top of a ravine overlooking the village. He ambushed Xiaoshang's carriage and asked to have it searched. Since she is a lady, her maid interrupts, but Xiaoshang agrees, and without coming out of the carriage points towards the haystack and gives him the hint. Despite seeing only her hand, Cheng Xiaoshang made a great impression on Ling Buyi. After reaching home, and meeting with her parents, Cheng Xiaoshang tries to get her mother's attention towards her. She thinks her mother will shower her with love that she missed from being a child and her life will become easy. To her surprise, her mother gets angrier with whatever she does and the way she behaves. Thankfully, on the other hand, her father is more loving and dotes on her, but he is also under the thumb of his wife. After a week time, her second brothers and twin brother also arrive back home. Unlike their mother, they loved her at first sight. They were excited to meet her. They told her that they have got loads of presents for her. But nothing much happens or changes for Xiaoshang. Instead, her mother turns extremely strict and cold towards her, forcing her to learn and become an educated lady. Xiaoshang, on the other hand, does not have any interest in learning books and ethics. But she is rather fascinated and interested in designing, architecture, and buildings. Due to her mother's strict behavior towards her, she thinks she has no one to rely on but her own self. Hence, she keeps using her wits and intelligence in her own ways to protect herself from the trouble that comes to her. And it becomes extremely clear that she is not someone who will let go of anyone who does her wrong. Her third uncle and aunt also comes back and the whole Cheng family reunites. Much to Xiaoshang's surprise, her third auntie dotes on her, which in turn makes Xiaoshang happy. She becomes frank and closer to her third aunt and uncle. On the other hand, our male lead keeps investigating the missing military weapons case and, in that search, went to the Lantern Festival, where the Cheng family also visits to enjoy the family get-together and get a glimpse of the Lantern Festival. Ling Bai, standing on the tower, then saw our female lead, who looked extremely beautiful in red. And here at this moment, he fell in love with her. While roaming and enjoying the streets full of light, Xiaoshang meets a scholar named Yuan Shen and a simple guy named Liu Yao. Unbeknownst to her, they both get attracted to her at the very first meeting. A fire breaks out, and amidst chaos, our male lead Ling Bai saves our Xiaoshang from the fire. They again meet at the palace banquet, and here at the banquet Xiaoshang notices him and gets to know that he is also the emperor's adopted son, who is also known by another name Ji Sheng and is admired by almost every other lady of the palace. After that, they keep meeting each other briefly, during which Ling Bai asks for Xiao Shang's help and she helps him to avoid any trouble with her family. Xiao Shang along with her aunt and uncle leaves for Hua City where her third uncle will be the new magistrate. And by seeing their love she wishes to lead a life that is simple and beautiful like theirs. While en route she was then followed by Lu Yao who proposed to her. She gets flustered by the proposal, however she asks him to leave as she has nothing to do with it. But Lao Yao keeps following and showering his love to make her happy. They were almost near the town when they noticed that something was wrong. The third uncle told them to proceed to Hua City immediately while he goes ahead to investigate. As soon as her uncle left they were ambushed by men whom they thought at first were bandits. Instead, Xiao Shang deducted that they were soldiers. Poor auntie then had an accident in the collapsed carriage. Xiao Shang took over the command and told Lu Yao to go to the nearest magistrate and ask for help and reinforcement. He then gave her a map of where they can take refuge. Xiao Shang used her engineering and design knowledge and build rudimentary machinery to hinder the coming soldiers who were after them. It worked at first, but their resources were so limited the soldiers were able to penetrate their hideout. They abducted Miao, one of the soldiers tasked by her mother to look after Xiao Shang. Inside Hua City, the situation gets worse. Hua County was besieged by marauders, who were intent on killing anyone and everyone who gets in their way. The old magistrate of the city announced that they were in a hopeless situation. He said that he would go out there and not just give in. So he dressed in his old armor suit followed by his soldiers and able men. They then opened the gate to confront the renegade soldiers. It was a massacre, not a single Hua soldier was left standing. The renegade soldiers managed to barge into Hua County and started to carry out mass destruction and looting. But Ling Bai turned up just in time to save the granddaughter of the old magistrate. The little girl gave Bai a red box to pass on to the new magistrate. An arrow shoots him while saving the little girl. And he was then informed by his subordinates that Xiao Shang and her entourage were on their way to Hua but seemed to have been delayed. He then cuts off his arrow with his sword and rode hard to find her. He finds her just on time and saves her from the enemy. Xiao Shang also saves him by pulling out the remaining arrow from his chest through the string which was named after her name. Once she left the room, Ling Bai then takes the string and keeps it with him. All these while Lao Yao was so devoted to Xiao Shang. He had become her helpful shadow. He agrees and is enthusiastic about everything she says and does. After returning to the capital, Xiao Shang and Lao Yao get engaged. But fate has some other plan, and their marriage gets called off. Ling Bai, who was first disturbed by her engagement, is now happy and takes the opportunity to propose her the marriage. She agrees to it even though she doesn't know what her future will look like with the man who seems cold and aloof from the world. Xiao Shang was commanded by the emperor to learn under the tutelage of the empress. Since she is going to be the general's wife, she should learn the etiquette and have the knowledge to walk beside him. And the kind empress takes instant liking to Xiao Shang's innocent way of approaching anything and offers to teach her. And from here Xiao Shang gets closer to the empress, who treats her very kindly and warmly as if she is her own daughter. The empress also prepared a drafting table for Xiao Shang, because she heard from Ling Bai that Xiao Shang is partial to engineering and architectural stuff. This really touched Xiao Shang because her own mother and father never thought of providing her with a suitable study desk. Empress's kind way of approaching and teaching made her focus on her studies and interest of building different machinery. Xiao Shang was interested in knowing more about Ling Bai, so he took her to his special place he would go to when he was growing up. It was the balcony on top of the palace gate. Xiao Shang loved the night sky which was full of stars. Bai said that he came here to find his own star, which Xiao Shang said was easy looking at the stars twinkling above. Bai said that it was not easy. He then told Xiao Shang why he joined the military at a very early age. Aside from being inspired by his uncle General Ho, it was really to repay the emperor for bringing him up. He also wanted to protect the people. Xiao Shang saw how Bai was looking at the sky, which made her ardent to be nearer him. They were interrupted by patrolling guards. Ling Bai asked them if they saw anything. The guards were quick to deny that they saw nothing. So Ling Bai more or less said to watch closely as he kisses Xiao Shang on the forehead. As she starts spending time knowing Ling Bai, to her surprise, He starts seeming an entirely different person from what others think of him. He is always there to protect her, care for her, and even change himself according to her. She started to remember bits and pieces of how Bai protected her in the past. Far from being violent in front of her, he had always been gentle and kind. She also realized that she always felt safe with him. After some time she starts to see a different Ling Bai in him and realizes that she also has started to like him. Several incidents happen, such as Xiao Shang getting bullied by Princess and her friends, where she cries in Ling Bai's arms when he comes to visit her at night, but hides it from him, which eventually hurts Ling Bai, and he asks Xiao Shang who he actually is for her. He then goes ahead and takes revenge on all the people who were involved in bullying Xiao Shang, and gets punished by Emperor. Seeing Ling Bai getting punished, Xiao Shang finally confesses to him that she loves her and he should know it too. Their love further deepens, and Ling Bai makes Xiao Shang meet his mother, who is not in her best mental situation. After the visit, they get engaged, and the backstory of his mother gets revealed to the audience. It is revealed that Ling Bai is actually not Ling Bai, and his real name is Wu Shang and is the son of the emperor's best friend. When he was still a child, his father and mother, along with 1,000 other families and soldiers of Gu City, were massacred by his uncle, who collided with the enemy. All these were witnessed by Wu Shang and her aunt, who saved him and disguised him as her own son Ling Bai. The real Ling Bai was killed by his own father, thinking that he was Wu Shang. Her aunt witnessed the death of her own child along with the massacre of her whole family and then the entire city by her husband. But she escapes from the scene and somehow saved Wu Shang. On the other hand, her husband, thinking that she was killed along with his son, went ahead and married another woman. But to his surprise, both of them came back to the capital, but her aunt disguised Wu Shang as her own son Ling Bai, and from there Wu Shang starts living his life as Ling Bai. Since he was very little and no one was left as evidence, they lived their life with the pain. But as Ling Bai started growing into a brave and young soldier, he knew he has to avenge the entire Gu City. One step at a time, Ling Bai keeps planning and starts killing the enemy. However, in order to not implicate Xiao Shang, he hid these all from her. Xiao Shang, who now is deeply in love with Ling Bai, figures it out before her marriage, and somehow Ling Bai also senses it. In the middle of all these, his aunt dies. Being in a state of emotional havoc, Ling Bai doesn't want to wait any longer, as he thinks he will also lose Xiao Shang if he hides more from her. Hence, he decides to not wait any longer and goes ahead to interrogate the last hope, Peng Kun, who can lead him to prove his uncle crime. However, things do not go as he planned, and his last lead also gets killed by his uncle. He loses his mind, thinking that there is no other way left to take his revenge. He kills his uncle and his entire subordinate on his own. Xiao Shang, who already has figured it out, helps him in escaping through the scene, and asks Ling Bai to not leave her behind, as she is ready to face each and every outcome along with him, but if he leaves her behind, she will never forgive him. However, not to implicate Xiao Shang and her family, Ling Bai jumps off the cliff. Xiao Shang couldn't bear it and fell ill. The third prince comes to her and asks her to help Ling Bai in court, or else he will be sentenced to death. Xiao Shang defends Ling Bai in court by giving and providing all the evidence that Ling Bai is actually Wu Shang, who did all these to avenge the Gu City massacre. After Emperor learns everything from Xiao Shang, he gets relieved and emotional to hear that his best friend's son is none other than Wu Shang, whom he adopted as Ling Bai. But on Ling Bai's demands and to silence the court, he sent him to the north border for 5 years. After he leaves for north border, Xiao Shang decided to move back to the Chanqi Palace to serve the deposed empress, much to her mother's grief, who begged Xiao Shang not to go. But it was a little too late. The days passed quickly, it turned into months and then years. Many things had happened. But all this time, Xiao Shang stayed in the palace and never saw any one of her relatives. Meanwhile, Bai stayed at the northern border. His life was all about fighting. He was warring day and night until he dropped. He was so tired that he actually just dropped from his horse. 5 years passed, and Empress Xuan was getting weaker from her terminal illness. She told Xiao Shang that she wanted to see her settled before she passed. Xiao Shang wanted to make Empress Xuan be peaceful, so she finally accepted Yuan Shen's proposal to marry. But she was honest with him, telling him that Bai is still in her heart. Bai was summoned to the capital because of Empress Xuan's worsening condition. The emperor was agog with excitement at finally seeing his foster son once again. He noticed how much Bai looked like his real father, Huo Chong. Xiao Shang and Ling Bai met for the first time after 5 years. Bai saw Xiao Shang and walked towards her with so much longing on his face. As he got nearer, Xiao Shang, still looking so hurt, turned her back and walked away to get into her horse. Bai also had a very sad and tearful reunion with the empress, who told him a secret. Xiao Shang was not really engaged with Yuan Shen. Nanny Jai told Bai that Ji Tong, who was obsessed over him, had abducted Xiao Shang in her carriage. Bai was so scared for Xiao Shang, but in no time he was able to find Xiao Shang with Ji Tong in the carriage. Ji Tong had a knife pointed at Xiao Shang. Without hesitation, he grabbed the blade. The carriage though was heading towards a ravine, but he just managed to grab Xiao Shang before the carriage with Ji Tong inside fell into the cliff with the poor horses. Xiao Shang ordered Bai to let her go and save himself as they hang into the side of the ravine. Xiao Shang said that if he let her go, he has a chance to save himself. Bai said that he will let go of her when he dies. She said that even if he dies for her, she will never forgive him. Bai shouted at her and said, "I won't live without you." He continued on that he knows she cannot forgive him, but since they bit each other's arms as a love token, he had already considered her as his wife. Therefore, she lives, he lives, she dies, he dies. They got rescued by Bai's men. Then a messenger came to advise Bai and Xiao Shang that the empress had not much to live. Everyone was gathered around the empress, who was cradled by the emperor. The empress said to Xiao Shang and Bai that she hoped that the two could make up. She asked Xiao Shang to bring a lock of hair to the mountain where she was at her happiest with her father. Xiao Shang was overwrought with grief and fainted in the rain outside, where Bai found her. Bai carried her to her family's house. Xiao Shang and Bai are more civil to one another but had not reconciled. She told him that she hated him for leaving her. She hated him for going his own way and for deciding to jump on the cliff rather than stay by her side. She truly loved him and showed him her true self, but he repaid it with lies. She told him that after 5 years, she had come to terms with everything and it is impossible for them to resume where they left off. She can never trust him again. Bai said that his life in the Northwest was full of regrets. Bai said that he betrayed her trust in the most hurtful way possible. After her phobia of being abandoned, so he does not expect forgiveness. Xiao Shang said her final goodbye to Bai. She told him that she will make a pilgrimage to the late empress's hometown and from there she will travel around the world. Bai hopelessly said that after he had accomplished his mission of assisting the land distribution order, he will return to the Northwest to guard the borders. They then smiled resignedly at each other and walked their separate ways. Xiao Shang's mother Yuan Yi is a different mother now. She is now very nurturing but a tad too late for a grieving Ni Nao. Ni Nao was slightly moved when Yuan Yi tearfully said that if they could bring back time, she would do it differently. She won't be bullied by Grandma and Madame Ge into leaving Ni Nao behind with them. Xiao Shang started her travel to the mountains. She was accompanied by her twin. Along the way she ends up meeting with Ling Bai again, who saves her from explosion. And finally, Xiao Shang forgave Ho Bai after she thought he had died from the explosion in the underground part of the Liu family mansion. They both then go their ways to protect the Gu city from the attack of enemies and finally reunites for forever. The drama ends with showing Cheng's family reunion again, but this time Ling Bai is also now a part of their family. They were all looking up at the sky and admiring their galaxy. That was all for the explanation. If you are a fan of C-drama, this is highly recommended. If you have seen this drama already, let me know in the comment section what was your favorite scene from this drama. I will come back again with a new heart-grooving drama explanation. Until then, take care. Last but not least, please leave a like to help our channel grow.